interviewer so you can bond. An interviewer is more likely to hire someone they feel a connection with. It's easier to make that connection if you're relaxed and prepared. So that means practice. Specifically, you need to practice how to answer interview questions.
I just don't know how to act in an interview situation anymore. I used to model myself on Humphrey Bogart, but now I'm thinking I want to be more like Gene Hackman in Hoosiers. I don't know what the right answers are. I just don't know.
Okay, Kurt. There are no right or wrong answers in an interview situation. The best answers are the ones that help the interviewer understand who you are.
There isn't one perfect phrase or thing that you can say that will make an employer hire you on the spot. Employers want to see who you are, how you communicate, and how you think.
You should take time to think through questions that an interviewer might ask. Think of answers for the common questions, but also answers to questions that will throw you off or make you nervous.
When preparing for an interview, make sure to think of answers for these common disqualifying questions. These are questions that will get you to reveal something about yourself that you wouldn't ordinarily reveal, so you need to be careful.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Answering this question with, I see this job as a stepping stone to a better job, isn't a good option. That answer will get you the boot. You need to show that you will be committed and hardworking.
I'm really interested in developing and strengthening my skills. I think the direction in which this company is going would allow me to achieve this goal in the next 5 years.
Other disqualifying questions are ones such as, tell me about yourself. This is a common question, but it's stumped many an interviewee. Your answer will vary according to what kind of position you're applying for, but the most important thing is to have prepared ahead of time and have an answer that flows naturally.
You can also think of questions that are specific to your field. If you're in advertising, ponder questions like, what do you think is one of the best advertising campaigns right now and why?
These are all difficult questions in their own respect and might be part of a high-anxiety interview. High-anxiety interviews are common in high-stress fields like investing or sales. If you're in a high-stress field, you might want to prepare for a more difficult interview. Ah, don't touch me! I'm under a lot of stress.
In a high-anxiety interview, interviewers will use tactics to see if you can handle a high-stress environment. They may be purposefully offensive, may act like they aren't listening to you, ignore you, and ask you negative questions. For example, they may ask you to tell them about a time you made a mistake or failed to meet a goal. Turn the question around to have a positive message.
So, what do you think your boss's biggest flaw is?
Actually, I have a good relationship with my boss. I'm leaving my current position because I recognize I'm ready to move on and increase my responsibilities.
Speaking of positive spin, if you have gaps in your resume or any other problem that may come up, such as college GPA, prepare to answer questions about it.
Hey, is a 1.8 GPA bad?
Don't volunteer information about it, but be prepared if you don't have a choice.
No matter what an interviewer asks, keep in mind that there's a good way to answer every question. A good answer is complete, to the point, and highlights something about yourself. Never just answer the question. Turn each answer into an opportunity to tell the interviewer why you are right for the job.
There are certain things an employer is not allowed to ask you in an interview. Among these are questions about your age, family, marital status, sexual orientation, race, or religion. So if asked, how do you handle it? Begin by simply stating with a smile, that's an interesting question, but I really don't see how it has anything to do with this position. Most smarter interviewers will get the hint and back off. If not, state that you don't feel that the question is appropriate and understand it may even be illegal to ask. Just because an employer asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer.
In order to have a great interview, you need to take the things we've discussed so far and practice. Just like an athlete, you need to work hard to achieve your goals.
A world-class athlete would never think about performing without practicing first. Before you go into your big interview, you should spend time practicing with a friend, video or audio taping your practice sessions, or even talking in the mirror to make sure that you sound and look good. Even though you may feel stupid, this practice will help you to eliminate errors and gain confidence.
Let the practice begin.
Practice is important, but practice only makes perfect if you know what to practice. To know what to practice, you need to know what to expect. It's important to be prepared for even the smallest of things, like how to dress and how fresh your breath is.
Is the interview review with Phil McHugh.
Welcome to the interview review with Phil McHugh. I'm Phil McHugh. Tonight in Part 2 review, take it from the scouts. Be prepared. Being prepared means knowing what to expect and practicing. This has been the Interview Review with Phil McHugh.
Part 3, the day of the interview.
It's necessary that as you begin the interview process, you begin to think of such things as dress, directions to the office, and dealing with nerves, so that when the day of the interview comes, you'll be ready.
Section A, Appearance.
The number one question about appearance is, how formal do I dress? This is even more of a question now, with a lot of offices going casual on Fridays, or even going casual every day. In this complicated world of wardrobe, here's a good rule of thumb.
If you wear a coat and tie to an interview, and the people you're interviewing with are casual, nobody will think less of you. However, if you show up to an interview dressed casually, and the employer is dressed professionally, you certainly will be noticed, negatively.
So unless your interviewer tells you otherwise, it's best to dress professionally.
Women. The key to appearance for women is conservative. A smart suit will help you achieve this look. Overall, women need to focus on looking nice and well-groomed. Hair, clothing, makeup, and jewelry should not be memorable. Your best impression should come from the content of the interview, not your wardrobe.
Men.
The key to men's dress is to look traditional.
I'm here to interview for the marketing position.
That's traditional, not outdated. A good old suit and tie will do the trick.
For men, the most important thing is to look clean, well-groomed, and aware that it's not 1976.
Men.
And women.
Make sure that whatever you do wear is clean, wrinkle-free, fits, and looks nice on you. If you look good, you're going to feel relaxed and confident.
Though you may leave for the interview smelling like a rose, you aren't scot-free. Right before the interview, take a trip to the bathroom to check your appearance, including teeth, breath, body odor, and makeup.
This will save the "you've got something right here" scenario.
So once you're clear on the whole appearance issue, you need to start thinking logistics.
Section B, Logistics.
It's imperative that you know where you're going for the interview. Knowing the area isn't good enough. You need to know exactly where the company is. Before the interview, go find the location. Leave around the same time you'll be leaving for the interview and take the same type of transportation. This way, you'll know how long it takes to get there, and you'll save the embarrassment of getting lost and being late.
Don't be late. However, if you are late, apologize right away, but don't explain.
You don't want to be late, but on the other hand, you don't want to put pressure on the employer by being early. If you're early, then just walk up and down the block or sit in your car in the parking lot. You don't want to appear over-anxious.
Right on time is the right time. If your interviewer is late, don't get upset. Use the time to look over your resume again or to check out the company literature. If the interviewer is really late, you should still wait at least an hour before leaving. After a half hour, you should ask the receptionist or someone that works at the office what you should do next.
On the day of the interview, you need to think about what you're going to bring along. You can bring carrot sticks and a sandwich if you want to, but to make sure that you're fully prepared, there are a few special things you need to bring with you.
Always bring several copies of your resume. This will come in handy in case the interviewer doesn't have one, or if in a panel interview, not all the interviewers have one.
You should also carry your work reference information with you. You should have a list of about 3. That way, you can choose the ones most appropriate for the position at hand.
Be sure to give your work references a heads up when you start looking for a job. When you do give your references to an interviewer, make sure to later contact the reference and let them know what's going on. They'll appreciate it.
If your current employer doesn't know you're interviewing, then don't list them as a reference, or else it won't be a secret for long.
What? On the same note, don't list an employer as a reference if you don't trust that he or she will give you a good recommendation. An employer who fired you or an employer you left high and dry is not going to have the fondest memories of you.
You should also carry examples of your work with you. If you're in marketing, bring a non-confidential marketing plan. If you're a writer, bring writing samples. If you are a clown, bring pictures of your sad and happy face. That way, you always have a little something extra to share.
Everyone gets nervous. It's a natural reaction when excitement and fear get together. The best thing you can do about nerves is to accept them. Understand that it's natural to be nervous. You can try basic relaxation techniques to help keep your mind off them. First, focus on your breathing. Make sure you're doing it, and make sure your breaths and exhales are long. This will help to relax you. You may want to do a little light stretching to loosen yourself up. Be aware of a stiff neck and clenched teeth. You want to make sure that nerves don't affect your body language.
You can also try to talk yourself out of being too nervous. Focus on the part of you that's excited, not afraid. Get psyched about sharing yourself with the employer. Don't dread the experience. An interview is your time to shine.
Once you're ready for the day of the interview, it's time to start thinking about what is going to go on in the actual interview. Interview actualization.
Is the interview review with Phil McHugh.
Welcome to the Interview Review with Phil McHugh. I'm Phil McHugh. Tonight, Interview Review tackles a day of small talk, breath fresheners, and business cards. A day of punctuality and pretense. A day of the interview. On the day of the interview, it's important to focus on appearance. You need to look sharp and clean and well-groomed. Logistically, know where you're going, what to bring, and how to relax when you get there. This has been the Interview Review with Phil McHugh.
Etched in stone.
Okay, here it comes. Interview. A person who spends all their time viewing the internet. Wait, that's not even close to right. New stone, please. Interviewer. A person who conducts an interview. There, that's it. Much better. Man, this job is rough.
Etched in stone.
Here's the answer to the pop quiz question. We asked you to identify something that you shouldn't do at a mealtime interview. The answer is B, drink alcohol. You should never order alcohol at a mealtime interview, even if your host does.
To order this or any other Standard Deviant school program on video cassette, call 1-800-238-9669.
This is PBS.
For more information on Standard Deviant school products, go to standarddeviants.org.